Okay. Well, part of the reason why I ventured off into Mexico is because of the what I found with my DNA results, and that I found that my mom had Indigenous American from Mexico um, ancestry, and I'm pretty sure that was something that she never knew. And how can someone tell you something that they knew nothing about? And that particular side of the family, I've been doing more because it was her father where that Mexican DNA came from. I've gotten to that point. So I'm doing more research on that part of the family. And that's where I discovered like my great great grandfather was actually born, and this was in 1800s, was actually born in Virginia. So when you say about the 20 that were dropped off in one area, and then in Mexico, and then the however many that was dropped off in Virginia, it makes sense to me because this was the same tribe of people.
Right. Absolutely.
Therefore, therefore, hey,
And the same enslavers. They were Portuguese.
same
Same
enslavement,
enslavers. And what happened
same
was,
thing.
yeah, there you go. So we're talking about the same people, same DNA. That's how we ended up in the North, Central,
Mhm,
and South America.
mhm, mhm.
But never forget, those are our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And when you go out of the country, because actually after me visiting Veracruz, Mexico, then I recently also went to Belize and and found found people who basically are like, oh, we thought you were family. We thought you were, Belizean. We thought you was one of us, and Garifuna. So those two, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about Garifuna. The Garifuna and the descendants of Yanga,
Yes.
El Yanga,
Yes.
all of both of those groups, well, the Garifuna were never enslaved.
Right. Correct.
And then you have, which is the Afro Indigenous, and then you have the descendants of Yanga who fought to be free. So they
Absolutely.
both were groups that resisted being
Absolutely.
enslaved. And I believe that's the journey that I'm on.
Yes.
Just basically what I'm finding out, yeah, I'm gonna visit these countries that have those Afro Indigenous people. And what I'm finding out, well, these were the people that said either they said, no, we ain't going.
Right. Resisted all the way.
We resisting all the way to
All the
being
way.
enslaved.
Right.
And then you have the ones who you may have been enslaved for a little moment, but then you said, no, we're not doing this.
We're doing this. Right.
And so so that just learning more about that and learning knowing who I am and how I've been known to kind of buck the system at times. So I
Sure.
think it's just, and I said, look,
It's
I
in
kind of figured out like, oh, well, that's probably why I act the way I act.
you. Absolutely.
Because of
Absolutely.
the fact the restriction, you can't put a restriction on everyone
Right.
and that it'll be okay for you to do these things. And
Right.
so I feel okay, I think I got it honestly.
We as a people have never stopped resisting. There hasn't been a minute that somewhere we haven't
Someone,
revolted,
a
we
group,
haven't stood up, rebelled. At no
mhm,
point do you think that we were passive,
right.
pacific
The
people.
Maroons.
We
And a lot of
were
these
always
people,
fighting.
and a lot of these people are from these islands
Absolutely, sure, absolutely,
that
sure.
said, no, we're not, no,
No,
no.
Jamaica being one of the ones that pop up, Haiti being another that pops up. Don't think for 1 minute that we laid down. We're not laying
Right.
down now. Now let's bring this conversation to the United States of America,
Mm.
2024, December 2024. Apparently, there's going to be a change of guard come January the 20th. People are on alert. There's some people that are nervous, and there's others that are frankly
They're
scared.
fine. Yeah, they're scared, and then some that are fine with everything. And
So
I hope things, work
I
out for
hope things work out. For those that
that.
don't have much confidence in the United States of America due to their track record,
Uh-huh.
I am encouraging them to find other land.
Mm-hmm.
One in particular, Yanga, Veracruz, Mexico, is fertile. For me, it's a mecca. I think every African American, I think there's 40 million of us. I think we're about 14% of the population, which makes about 40 million of us.
Uh-huh.
We should all know something about Yanga the man and Yanga the town. What
Right.
I'm proposing is not to build a town, but to rebuild. Remember
Mm-hmm.
now, we're rebuilding a nation because we were already there. Our
Mm-hmm.
ancestors founded this town in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of nowhere called
Mm-hmm.
Yanga Veracruz, Mexico. We're not taking over anything.
No.
Yanga, being African, founded this town.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm proposing is that we go back and rebuild what
Right.
he built.
Right. Right. Right.
Research Yanga, the man, research Yanga, the town. What I'm proposing is that we go back and we rebuild the nation.
Mm-hmm. We've had this conversation where I've, told you that some of the businesses that I've had have been based on the rebuild. And at the time where I've named these, I even had a shirt that had rebuild on it.
Yeah.
Rebuild to build again. You know?
Yes.
I didn't know, like, this was probably like 2017, 2018. Did not know that it would basically leading me up to this.
To this. Yeah, absolutely.
With rebuilding brothers and sisters,
Yeah. Let's
you
rebuild.
know, rebuilding. I guess my spirit always knew, no, you're gonna have to
We're
go
gonna
be
rebuild.
somewhere and rebuild.
Right. Yeah, we're not, and here's the beauty of it. We're not starting from scratch. We're not starting from
No,
zero. We're not
no,
starting from
no,
wilderness. The
no.
town is already founded.
The town is there. The
Yeah,
town has around 5,600 people.
correct.
They're Afro-Mexican.
That's correct.
They know they're
They
Afro-Mexican.
know that.
They are, they love to see African
They're
descendants.
welcoming. They know who
Very
we are.
welcoming. The what has happened pretty much each time that I am there, I can be walking around and someone wants to take a picture with me.
Absolutely.
And Dre helped me realize why people wanted to take a picture of me. And
Yes.
I would like for you to explain that to our audience, because I didn't know. I'm a person like, okay, you want to take a picture of me, people want to take pictures with me. Hey, I have no questions. I don't speak Spanish to the point where I can even ask you the why. But Dre has enlightened me on the why, and also in Cordoba, which is another town that's very close to Yanga. I pretty much, if I'm walking through, I'm getting stares, and it's
Right.
not a stare of like, why are you here? It's more of like, wow,
You're back. In fact,
you're
they're
back.
looking at you as you're returning. They're
Mm,
looking at you. They have to look at Yanga. They look at El Yanga. They look at Gasper Yanga. And when they look at you, they see him.
mm-hmm,
So you are a descendant. And
mm-hmm,
what they see when you're walking down the streets, they're seeing a return
mm-hmm.
of the people who founded that town. We've
Right.
been gone for a couple of 100 years.
Yeah.
And now we're returning. Do you remember when they had the I think it was Hernan Cortez that came and the indigenous people saw him on a horse and they thought he was a god? They
Yeah.
thought he was a god because it had been prophesied that a god of pale skin would
With,
return one day. And these indigenous people believed that. It was
mm,
spoken amongst themselves that a god would come, a god would come. Well, unfortunately for the indigenous people, it was Hernan Cortez that
yeah,
came, and
they came.
we know the devastation that he
Right.
exacted on these people. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what they saw. They saw a god. So I'm here to tell you that when you walk down the street and I walk down the street, we're almost looked upon as.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut it short right about there. But Yanga was the founder. He was somebody that, again, isn't it a beautiful thing to be celebrated and not tolerated?
Exactly. And that's one thing that I have started to say. I'd rather be somewhere where I'm loved and appreciated
Exactly.
versus tolerated
Right.
versus and used for labor. And
Correct.
that is all our black bodies were supposed to be used for
Right.
in the United States of America.
That's correct.
That
None of us were brought here for our good.
no, no, no. And I don't know who would believe that.
Right. No,
But I'm
not
sure
for
it
our
is
benefit.
somebody that believes like,
Right.
yeah, we were brought
No,
here.
we were not brought here for our benefit.
No.
So there
I
you go.
will
So
say
we need to
something,
break.
but I'm not.
So Yanga broke the chains, and so do we. We need to also break the chains. We've been here long enough. We gave them long enough, and I don't,
Right.
for one second, from the track record, believe that we're going to be positioned any better than we have in the last 500 years.
No.
So I
Like why would we be?
why would so insanity? The definition of insanity is
Is
keep
doing the
doing the
same
same thing
thing
over
over
and
and
over,
over again.
expecting a different result. Come on,
Yes.
people, we're better than this.
Yes.
We're better than this.
Yes. But people, do what
Yeah.
they do. All right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what this journey that we're about to embark on. It has
Okay.
started very quickly.
Yes.
This partnership has developed very quickly. But I can't say that I have ever been in a partnership such as this.
Thank you. So, and the feeling is mutual. Let me enlighten. Let me share with our viewers a little bit because it's developing very rapidly by the day. Belisa and I have launched several projects and organizations. We have an organization called Nación Yanga 1618.org. It's an organization. In English, it's Yanga Nation. We're building a nation, and it's an organization. And then we also have another website. It's called Quilombo. Quilombo, interesting. If you go to quilomboyanga.com, KILOMBOYANGA.com, there's a website there. We're getting ready to purchase land that belonged to our ancestors, yours and mine, the viewing audience as well included. And we're going to reestablish ourselves there, where we're celebrated, where we are revered, where we are put on a pedestal already. All you got to do is come. So we're looking at lands there at several different locations. But if you go to the website, again, it's Quilombo, and I'll explain to you what Quilombo means. It's a African word. Quilomboyanga.com. KILOMBOYANGA.com. Quilombo was where Yanga, the warrior, went for refuge. And while he was there, he strategized. Remember, he was of royalty, so he knew how to run an organization, how to run a community. You can't have a community without protection. So from that isolated community that he built, he strategized, and he would come out of that community and he would exact revenge on his Spanish enemy. So Quilombo is a settlement where there's protection as well as a place to strike back. Quilombo.
Much like the term Palenque.
Yes, and then the Spanish word for Quilombo is Palenque. Okay, so I decided, so we're looking for a nice settlement where we can have peace, where we can be amongst ourselves.
Look, that hit me. That hit me. Say that word again. Say that word that a lot of us have not experienced.
When's the last time you felt peace? Your soul was at peace. You don't have these external stresses. They're out to get you. Nobody's out to get you there. They ain't looking for you. You can settle down.
They're not looking to arrest you. They're not looking to do harm. If anything, they're gonna try to feed you.
Absolutely.
If anything, and try to build you up.
Right. There is not this external animosity because in the United States, I was born here, born in Texas, southern Texas. And I'll have you know, we are under extreme pressure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365.
Right.
And I'm imploring my people, my African American brothers and sisters, please, let's not do this no more. We don't have to.
Right. And in turn, I'm actually, not only am I bringing myself, I'm also bringing my son. And that that's him being driving while Black.
Yes. Walking your dog while
Worries
Black.
me. Walking
buying
in the
water.
neighborhood bothers me. And you
Yeah.
know, as a Black mother with sons,
Yes.
with the son,
Yes.
that is one of our worries.
Absolutely.
That something will happen when he's just minding his business.
Absolutely.
I don't have to worry about that.
Not at all. Let me give you firsthand experience that I've had in Mexico. I've been going to Mexico back and forth for 45 years. I'm bilingual. I speak Spanish. I know the culture, I know the people. I was talking to my brother just last night, in fact, and I asked my brother also goes to Mexico. He frequents Mexico quite often. And I asked him, I said, the coming and going, how many traffic tickets have you gotten in Mexico? He and I have been going for 45 years. And not one traffic ticket have we gotten in Mexico. All the parts that we've been through, not one traffic ticket have we received. I've received countless here, parking tickets, sweeper coming through to clean the street tickets, and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. But he said, when he goes to Mexico, the fear of the police evaporates.
Right.
He is not afraid of the Mexican police because they're not out to get him.
No.
If he were to get pulled over, he's not
afraid that they're going to shoot him
right,
or arrest him or whatever the case may be. No.
The conversation went from a traffic stop, which you could end up dead here in the United States,
right,
to 911 call where you and I could call the police for service and end up dead. You can make the phone call here in the United States and you end up dead.
Right.
How did we get here? How did we get here? And then how much more of it are we going to take?
Right.
So people, we don't have to. That's the whole thing. Get your passport. It's not hard to do. And I think we're going to start to see some changes that are very, very unfavorable with this new administration coming in. Get your passport. Come and visit us. Visit Valisa. She'll be there. Visit myself. We're paving the way, not only for ourselves. We're going to be fine. Oh yeah, we're going to be fine. But we also, just like Harriet Tubman, we got to open the doors and we got to follow. We got to show the way. So yeah, we're going to be fine. I promise you that.
Right.
So stay in touch. Make sure you follow us because we got good stuff that's developing.
All right. Can you give the website again for Yanga Nation?
Yeah, Yanga Nation. The Yanga Nation is Yanga. Is Nacion.
Nacion Yanga.
So Nacion Yanga, or NacionYanga.org. This is an organization that we're starting. So Nacion Yanga. I do apologize. It's Nacion Yanga 1618. 1618 is a very, very important. It's a pivotal date for us. It's our date. 1618 is when the Spanish government, the Spanish crown, recognized Yanga and his people as free, gave them land and sovereignty. And believe me, people, when I tell you, that was the first and only recognized dynasty, monarchy, because El Yanga gave birth to a son who became king of that area. And then his son became king. And when you have king, and king, that's a dynasty.
Exactly. And we're not used to hearing that about anything outside of Africa.
Why would the colonizer, the oppressor, I'm here to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the griot. I'm going to let you know that. So again, Nación Yanga, 1618. Nación Yanga, 1618.org.
Yes.
We are putting it together. All we are, we're shining the light.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing what our ancestors have done before us.
Right. We're doing what our ancestors have led us to do with this present day.
Telling us to do.
Definitely, I definitely feel that in my heart. I
Right.
know what I've been led to do.
Absolutely.
I am living in my purpose. And
Absolutely.
I definitely feel that there's nothing in the US for me at this time.
If they get their stuff straight, I'll come back in 4 years. I'll come back and check it out. I doubt that they'll be able to, but hey,
I mean, it's about to be a wild ride. It's about to be a wild ride, and I'm not here for it. So
right.
I'm not here for any of that. You know, if my son decides that he wants to come back to the US and do whatever, that's his business. He is grown. He's a grown person.
Man.
But as for me, I'm going to be where I am loved and appreciated.
Correct. One more for the other website. I want to make sure people go Quilombo. Remember Quilombo. That is our ancestors' words, language. Quilombo. Let's stop repeating.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
Quilombo
not. It's Bantu.
Yeah, it is Bantu. That is correct. It is a Bantu tongue, a Bantu language. So it's Quilombo. This is our language. Let's try to learn our language. Let's not use anytime we don't have to use the colonizer, the oppressor language. Let's stop.
Right.
So Quilombo, Kilombo, Yanga, YANGA.com. We got a website up. It's just the beginning. But we're going to fill everybody in. We'll keep everybody up to date. This thing is going to
excited.
It's going to take on a life of its own because we're listening to the ancestors. The ancestors are telling us to do this, and we're listening to them.
And the ancestors are also paving the way.
Absolutely,
clearing it for us to go straight through.
That's correct.
All right. Well, thank you. Gracias. Mucho gracias.
No hay de qué.
For this, for this interview. And I'll see you soon.
We will keep the viewers updated. Please contact Valisa or myself if you're interested. If there's anything that we said here that piqued your interest, and I'm sure there are several, get a hold of us.
All right.
Until then, be very safe out there. Things are going to shift. Be well.